AskReddit. What is the worst investment a person can make and why? Big box timeshares. Because of the huge upfront costs simply for access to properties and features, the monthly costs, and the difficulty, cost of selling them, it is always 100% less risky and cheaper over the long term to shop discount offers and pay for your vacations out of pocket, or buy vacation homes at your favorite spots that you rent out when you're not there. I never understood people buying timeshares. For less money, you could stay at a really nice hotel, and you wouldn't have to worry about schedules or financial commitments. It makes no sense. My theory is that timeshares are bought entirely by people finding out they can get a sweet deal on a weekend at a resort condo, whatever when they go somewhere if they just promise to sit through a 30-minute presentation, and then they can't figure out how to say no at the end of it. The pressure is crazy. My dad's friends did one and he gave them a bunch of tips and basically told them to definitely not buy anything because they can always go back in the next day and be like, actually, we'll take it. They called him with the offer the dude gave them and he laid out exactly how to get the same amount of stuff for about 50% less money and they said okay, went back in, and walked out with like $35,000 in timeshares. Also, even once you buy the timeshares they ask you every time you go on a trip if you'd like to go to a presentation to catch you up on the new offers. It literally never ends. If you can learn to be a dick about it, there's some good presentation gift deals though. My mom's BF is the cheapest person I've ever known and he is constantly trying to get us to go to these. Hey man, at the very least you get a free lunch. No thanks, I'd rather pay and not be badgered. My coworker took out a loan of $1,000 and bought lottery tickets thinking he can make back more. He $51. Saw a story about a teenager who stole a roll of scratchies from a newsagent where she was working. There were 240 x $1 tickets on the roll. She got $50. And 6 months. So what you're saying is I can get 6 months of free rent and $50 in my commissary account? Don't forget dental. Investing in a friend's business venture, especially when it ruins the friendship. I went to a dinner party once that turned into an invitation to get my foot in the door for a candle company. Let's just say the night ended with the cops called and a plasma screen TV broken. Any MLM scheme. It ain't gonna work. The FTC estimates that 99% of people in an MLM lose money. So you're saying there's a chance. The trick is to get 99 other people below you on the pyramid and you're gold. And while you're here, can I have 5 minutes of your time? Is there an MLM scheme that sells various MLM schemes? My buddies and I were floating an idea to post flyers around our campus advertising how to avoid MLMs, for installments of $9.99 monthly. Wall Street bets would say stock options are both the best and worst investment you may ever make. Many times with their positions you'll either lose it all or quintuple your investment in a few days. So you're saying I could quadruple my investment in a few days? Here. Well, if you spend $1 to make a sandwich, then sell it for $4, you can do that. There's a radio ad that says a timeshare is the worst investment you'll ever make because apparently it's the only thing you won't know how much it'll cost you. They are horrendous investments. It is near impossible to sell, even at insanely reduced prices. My mom is in this boat right now. She bought one with my dad when they were the thing to do and now she can't give it away. Why get the timeshare when you can rent the same place as an Airbnb without the commitment? I'm flashing back to when a tow truck driver negged me for having a used car while he was towing me. He reasoned the value drops as soon as you drive it off the lot. Unlike new cars apparently. I think he got that backwards. He meant you should buy a new car, and then never drive it off the lot, just leave it there so it won't depreciate. Investing in a musical. You have about a 1/200th chance of getting your money back, let alone making any profit whatsoever. Lottery tickets. There are people that throw hundreds of dollars they can't afford into that hole hoping that it might pay off. And I guess it might, but practically everything else on this list is more likely to somehow make you money than that is. I read about lottery savings account, tested to encourage saving in areas where income was low and savings were non-existent. You got a number of tickets based on your deposits, and at the end of whatever period, one person won everyone's interest. Obviously the interest isn't going to be much, and sucks to be all the people who didn't get any interest, but everyone still has the money they put in. As I recall, it produced significant savings, but I can't remember if the study kept going when the lotto savings ended, to see what would happen. Esports teams have been involved with the scene for the past 10 years or so. Organizations constantly appear and disappear for good reason. It's incredibly hard to actually profit as an organization, and investors are always pumping money in without seeing any returns, trying to bet on the future of esports being like professional sports leagues, which it might be, but it's been pretty slow to get there. Only the top-tier teams make any money, and even a handful of them have major financial issues. Video games keep changing. It's hard to see what new trends there will be in gaming in the future. It's like fantasy sports betting, except the rules of the game keep changing every other year. Jewelry, especially mass-produced jewelry you'd get at the mall. It's not worth more than the scrap value of the metal and gemstones it's made of. Can confirm. My father is an antique and estate jeweler. He buys scrap to replace and repair old, very expensive damaged pieces. So he will find a beautiful 1920s piece, but it's missing a small diamond. He can buy a shit piece at scrap, salvage a beautiful diamond from it, repair the antique and sell it. He does document the replaced gem and the repairs, so he never cheats a buyer. So you may buy a lovely antique engagement ring, but it has been repaired with a scrap diamond. You get the ring at below commercial price and it's still an antique. Many times the replaced gem, diamond, sapphire, emerald, is higher quality than the original. Bottom line, don't buy commercial. A small antique or estate jeweler will have far better quality at a fair price that won't suck your savings dry. Commercial jewelers are thieves. If you are talking about real investments, anything a person tries to sell you as low to no risk, but high returns, is probably a fraud. Risk is strongly correlated to reward. You can't have one without the other, no matter what fancy language they are using for reasons why. And let's not forget the time factor. If they say, low risk, high payoff, and, immediately, I'd run for the hills. Pop culture BS. Beanie Babies, Cabbage Patch Dolls, Funko Pops. In a decade no one will care about these pop culture items and they will have no value. Couldn't agree more. I collect Funkos, but not for their value. I just collect the ones I like because those are fandoms I'm into. I see people all the time who have like 1,000 of them, still in boxes, most of them not even displayed. Have to believe they think they're going to resell them in 10 years for crazy profit. A new car. Cars are not investments. Buy slightly used, maintain it well and it will last a long time. People tend to forget what an asset is versus an liability. Assets pay you back. No car, new or otherwise, is an investment, except possibly rare collectible ones. Any car you own, so long as it has value that exceeds what you might owe on it, is an asset. Yay, I look at it as a peace of mind investment. Yay, I could get a car for $1,000, but I grew up with those and it was always stressful not knowing if it'll start and all that entails. When I got on my own I got a better vehicle and it's nice just not worrying about it. And it makes the drive more pleasant. Holding onto your pumpkin stock, expecting it to peak around November 1st.